The St. Regis, Aqua, the Tribune Tower, 1000 Michigan. Any major building that got built in the Loop area in the last 30 years, we made the model.
Any of the larger cultural buildings or museums?
Oh yeah, the Obama Center. Hi, I'm Catherine Tinker. I'm the owner of Columbian Model Exhibit Works, and we've been making scale models for about 30 years. We are privileged to be the model makers for the Architecture Center. We make the model of the city of Chicago.
So Kathy, you have a really interesting origin story, kind of coming into models from the legal profession.
Yep. So I worked for a really well-known aviation defense firm. When we did stuff like that, we used to get models made to help explain the case. And that was really fun for me. I liked the model making part of it. So I got to a point where I was just completely burned out on the practice of law and I wanted to do something else. Anyway, John Schnull was already here, so we decided that I would sell the models and he would make the models, and that's been our key to success ever since.
I first started making models in 1987. There was no laser cutting, no 3D printing. Not even CAD work was being incorporated at that point. We were hand drawing. We would make a master and then mold it and then cast the repeated pieces. And then what really kind of changed things dramatically was the introduction of laser cutting becoming commercially available.
Some architects have an artistic vision that they want. Once you scale it down, there's certain limitations to what kind of detail you can get. There are three variables. There's time, money, and detail. And you can have two of those. You can't have all three.
What are you proud about the legacy of Columbian Model?
Just our ability to take an idea and create, the 3D rendering that tells the story that our clients want told.
So Kathy, I was drawn to this one. A lot of people know this building.
Yep, that's Vista Tower.
This is
which
the
is
top,
now
the top of Vista
It's
Tower?
now known as St. Regis. No, it's just a sample that we put together when we were trying to figure out how the lighting should work. That's one of the fun things about LED lights is that you can change the lighting and therefore change the look of them.
You used to stuff Christmas lights in these?
There were a long time ago when we were first starting and we knew nothing. 2520 North Lakeview is that one, and you'll see that it doesn't have a roof.
Lagrange building here?
It doesn't have a roof right now because he came over here and we actually gave him the roof because he's famous for
signature
those
roof.
signature roofs, and he was very pleased to have it. This is part of the Tribune Tower, 3D printed at a couple of different scales. You can see the amount of detail on here.
These have already been primed and I started putting on some paint. So this is how we paint them. This is an air forced paint. It's latex. We switched from lacquers years ago because latex is environmentally more friendly. And but basically you've got to just keep adding thin coats of paint so we don't get any drips. And then we let them dry and then we add another coat.
Let's talk a little bit about the Chicago City model at the Chicago Architecture Center.
Lynn Osmond, your former director, had been on a lot of trips all around the world. They like having models of cities in Asia. And she decided that she wanted one. They had never heard of us, we had never heard of them, but Greg Dreiser found us and sent in a letter.
When it was first made, of course, it was supposed to be a temporary exhibit, so we made it so it could be set up and then broken down and put into storage. We had a big team. Everybody kind of had their own specialty, organizing or fabricating, painting.
When we moved the model to the Chicago Architecture Center,
yes, you made it much larger.
And you redid the base.
Yes, we did.
What were some of the challenges creating the updated Chicago City model?
Well, it was a whole lot more information that we had to gather. It went from being a completely flat model to including the topography. So it actually goes up and down where the city goes up and down.
I was the one that added all the topography. I've been taking care of the updates for the past 4 or 5 years. Me and a former employee, John Schnull, the two of us were kind of in charge of figuring out the whole thing. Bill Bauman too was also key in this.
There's this one Easter egg on there. There is a small building that we call the House Divided, where on the north side is written Cubs.
Southwest part of the model, yeah.
Yes, and on the south part of the building, it says Sox. And we got that because when we were designing each little building, we saw that the roof of a real house had cubs and socks painted on it. So try to find that.
Can we talk a little bit about landscaping?
Oh, please do. I love landscaping. You get to make a big mess.
Have you always liked doing it, or did you get good at it over time?
Well, I knew nothing about it when I was a lawyer, so.
How do you make a tree?
You have to buy these special kind of weeds that no one makes anymore. So I've got a few left, and then you make those look like a tree, like this. And then you paint them and flock them.
So this is the big CNC machine you use?
Yeah, when we need to cut out 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of material for sites or bases, or if we're doing topography, we will program them and send them to this machine, set up the cutters, and carve foam.
At the end of the day, what do you think is the most important thing to be good at making models?
Eye for detail, being very observant, patience. Managing a team is all about being patient and teaching them what they need to know and hearing what they are telling you.
I think that one of the sad truths is that a lot of people don't understand the value of a physical model. People got so used to just looking at renderings and drawings of buildings that they don't understand the value of having a physical scale model.
So Kathy, you've been at this for a really long time. What do you think some of the lasting legacy of Columbian Model will be?
I have no idea, Woody. We'll wait and see.